Hey guys, Nintendrew here. Since its launch back in 2017, the Switch has gotten a bit of a reputation as a port machine. Personally, I say bring 'em on. I cannot tell you how many of my favorite games I've bought again on the Switch just to be able to play on the go or in bed. But in a sea of cross-platform titles and last-gen remasters, a select few have risen to the top as the best of the best. In this video, I'll be sharing my top 5 Switch ports that should not be missed. All of these games are chock full of content and are technically demanding, but through feats of optimization and programming wizardry, the developers managed to bring their visions to everyone's favorite hybrid console without missing a beat. So, let's get to it. Alright, before we get started with the top 5, let's check out just a few honorable mentions. Crysis Remastered is a brand new remake of the hit FPS title that brought gaming PCs around the world to a crawl back in 2007. Now the "Can It Run Crysis" meme has been reinvigorated yet again, this time with a surprisingly competent entry for the Nintendo Switch. This one actually just launched about a month ago at the time of this video, and so far I've been very impressed. However, some dips in frame rate and resolution do hold back an otherwise excellent port. Skyrim is a household name at this point, a cultural behemoth of an RPG that needs no introduction, and the Switch version is a great way to play it. On top of being the first real handheld entry in the Elder Scrolls series, unless you count the Nokia N-Gage, this port also includes some pretty sick Zelda-themed gear and amiibo support. And finally, Minecraft might seem like an odd pick here, but with cross-platform multiplayer and some exclusive Mario-themed skins and other fun content, there's never been a better way to play Minecraft across screens at home or on the go. Okay, so on to the best of the best. Our first Switch port is the Bioshock Collection. Alright, so maybe picking a collection of 3 games might be considered cheating, but when I started writing this list, I knew I couldn't pass it up. The Bioshock Collection for Switch includes all 3 titles in the series, along with all the DLC, and each of them runs like a dream, with a solid, consistent frame rate holding around 30 FPS. In addition to great performance, each title looks significantly better than its original release, due to an upgraded lighting system and higher resolution textures. This collection also marks the first handheld release of Bioshock Infinite, and whether you're a veteran of the series or just jumping in for the first time, the Switch port is a great way to dive into the immersive worlds of Rapture and Columbia. Next up on our list is L.A. Noire. L.A. Noire is an open-world mystery game set in a sprawling and faithful recreation of 1940s Los Angeles. When you're not investigating crime scenes or interrogating suspects, L.A. Noire feels a lot like Grand Theft Auto, and that's no coincidence. Both series are owned and published by Rockstar Games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still itching for a port of GTA 4 or 5 to come to the Switch. But until that happens, for me, L.A. Noire is pretty much the next best thing. Yes, we did get a port of the arguably even more derivative Saints Row III, but unfortunately that version suffers from major performance issues and did not earn a spot on this list. Still, outside of my own appreciation for the game, L.A. Noire arguably has some of the best facial animations in any game, past or present, since its launch in 2011, and with the added convenience of portability, you can't go wrong with this release. Alright, moving right along, our third entry for Best Switch port is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade is a third-person adventure game following the harrowing experience of a Nordic warrior as she battles her own inner demons through the barren landscape of Helheim. Originally a PS4 exclusive, this provocative and intimate exploration of psychosis has since seen ports for both PC and Nintendo Switch, but the Switch port in particular uses a truly ingenious method to closely match the visual quality of its PlayStation counterpart. During each cutscene, the title crossfades between real-time gameplay and pre-rendered full-motion video, and the transition happens so seamlessly that you'd be hard-pressed to notice the difference. Here's some slow-motion footage to really pinpoint the effect. At the beginning of each cutscene, the screen fades to a pre-recorded video, and then fades back to gameplay as the cutscene ends. By pre-rendering each of the story's major cutscenes, the developers at QLOC were able to focus on optimizing gameplay performance without having to compromise the visual fidelity of Hellblade's beautiful cinematics. For this reason and more, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has definitely earned a place on our list. Next up is Darksiders Warmastered Edition. If you've been following the channel for a while, you might already know that this is one of my favorite games, period, so it probably makes sense that it's one of my favorite ports for Switch as well. But it's not just favoritism at play here. Darksiders Warmastered Edition is a genuinely fantastic port, if only for its extremely user-friendly display settings. In an uncommon move for console games, this release allows players to choose between performance and quality modes. Performance means the game runs at 720p and a super smooth 60 FPS, while quality mode increases the resolution to 1080p and caps the frame rate at 30 FPS. Although PC enthusiasts have enjoyed this sort of graphics option for decades, the simple addition of a resolution toggle does wonders for Darksiders on Switch in an ecosystem which rarely allows that sort of customization. If you've yet to pick up Darksiders yourself, make sure to also check out my other video, The Best Zelda Game You've Never Played. If you've ever considered yourself a Zelda fan, or a fan of adventure games in general, you owe it to yourself to give this one a shot. And finally, the last title for today's video is Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation for Nintendo Switch is a modern remaster of the 2014 survival horror game based on the hit movie franchise Alien. Upon its initial release, the game was very well received by critics and players alike, and quickly became recognized as one of the greatest horror titles of all time. So, why is this version in particular a good fit for this list? Believe it or not, the Switch version of Alien Isolation actually looks a little better than its PS4 and Xbox One counterparts. Yeah, no kidding. As first reported by Digital Foundry, while the Switch version does run at a slightly lower resolution than it does on other platforms, the developers at Feral Interactive managed to keep frame rates rock solid by continuing to optimize performance in the years after its first release. In addition, a brand new anti-aliasing solution significantly reduced jagged and shimmering edges on objects, leading to a cleaner and sharper image overall. Not only is the Switch version comparable to its big brothers, it's actually the best way to experience the game today, and on a portable system no less. As a result, it's been widely praised as one of the best Switch ports to date, and has made its way to the final spot on today's list. So, what do you think? Did you find a couple new titles to check out? Or maybe you have your own favorite Switch port that I might have missed? Make sure to sound off in the comments below and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing to Nintendrew for all sorts of cool gaming content, and make sure to share it with any friends who might find it interesting. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hey guys, thanks again for watching and for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you like this one, here are 2 more videos you might like as well. As always, if you like what I do and would like to help out the channel, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen. And otherwise, I hope you look forward to the next one. Take care!